Dinofours, We Love Bugs by Steve Metzer, illustrated by Hans Wilhelm. It was a warm spring day, and the children were playing outside. Brendan and Joshua were digging for rocks. "Look at this rock," said Joshua. "It's got sparkles all over it." "Here's a big one," said Brendan, as he lifted the rock he just dug up. "It's the biggest rock in the whole world." Joshua and Brendan were digging and digging. Suddenly, Joshua found something that looked different. "Wow, look at this," he said. "It's a worm. I love worms." "I don't like worms," Brendan said. "They're yucky." "But watch how he's moving," Joshua said. "He's wiggling all over the place." "I don't care," Brendan replied. "I want to dig for rocks." But Joshua kept looking at his worm. "I have an idea," Brendan said. "Let's see how far we can throw it." "No, that would hurt him," said Joshua, protecting the worm with his hands. Okay, said Brendan. "It's only a bug." As Brendan walked away, he sang, "I don't like bugs, any bugs. They can't talk or play. I wish they'd go somewhere else. They're always in my way." Brendan spotted a soccer ball by those swings and kicked it as far as he could. It went right past Danielle and Tracy, who were kneeling on the ground. "Be careful with that ball," said Tracy. "You almost hit our ladybug," said Danielle. "So what?" said Brandon. "It's only a bug." "She's a beautiful bug," said Tracy. "And she flies too," Danielle added. "If I throw it up in the air, will it fly anyway?" Brandon asked. "You'd better not," said Danielle. "She's our friend," said Tracy. Then Brendan and saw Albert. "Hey, Albert, old buddy," Brendan said. "Let's play hide and seek." "Okay," said Albert. "Stand by that tree, close your eyes, and I'll hide," Brendan said. "But don't forget to count to 10 before you look for me." "Okay," said Albert as he walked over to the big oak tree. He closed his eyes and began counting. 1, 2, 3. Meanwhile, Brendan ran behind the blackberry bush, crouched down, and waited. "Albert will never find me here," he thought. When Albert reached 10, he opened his eyes and called out, "Ready or not, here!" Here's a caterpillar." "Wow, I love caterpillars." Albert watched the caterpillar move across the tree and forgot about looking for Brendan. "What's going on?" yelled Brendan as he jumped up from behind the bush. "I thought you were playing hide and seek with me." "Not now," Albert answered. "Look at this caterpillar. He's so fuzzy." "I hate bugs," said Brendan as he took the caterpillar off the tree and began jiggling it from one hand to the other. "Stop that," Albert said. "Mrs. D! Mrs. D!" Mrs. D and the other children walked over to Albert and Brendan. "What's all the fuss about?" Mrs. D asked. "Brendan is throwing my caterpillar around," Albert replied. "He's hurting him." "It's only a bug," Brendan said. "It doesn't feel anything." "How do you know?" asked Joshua. "You wouldn't like it if you were the caterpillar," Tara said. "Yes, I would," Brendan said. "It would be so fun to be bounced around." "It's hard to know what bugs feel," Mrs. D said, "but you're probably hurting it, so you need to stop." "Okay," Brendan said as he put the caterpillar back on the tree. Mrs. D looked at her watch. "Children, it's time to go inside and get ready to go home," she said. Looking at Brendan, she added, "Your Uncle Leo is coming to pick you up today. Did you remember?" "That's right," Brendan shouted. "Oh boy, Uncle Leo is the biggest and funniest dinosaur in the whole world. I can't wait to see him." Mrs. D and the children went inside. After singing their goodbye song, Mrs. D dismissed the children to their parents, grandparents, babysitters, and Uncle Leo. Brendan ran right into his uncle's arms. "Howdy, partner," said Uncle Leo. He scooped Brendan off the ground. He quickly spun Brendan around, higher and higher. Stop, Uncle Leo, you're making me dizzy, Brendan said. I'm sorry, little buddy, said Uncle Leo as he stopped spinning Brendan and put him back on the ground. I was only playing. Brendan looked around. Everything seemed to be spinning. Just then, a brown beetle walked onto his foot. He was just about to kick it off when he stopped. Brendan thought about what Mrs. D had said earlier. It is hard to know how a bug feels, he said to himself, just like Uncle Leo didn't know how it felt when he threw me in the air. Brendan gently removed the beetle from his foot and began walking home with Uncle Leo. On the way, he sang a new song. The next time I see a bug down low or on a tree, I'll think of how that bug might feel, and then I'll let it be. The end.